forgot to brush my eyebrows before putting on foundation. I can't catch a break anymore. Hey nerds, welcome back to my channel. Today is the day we are finally doing the book review on One more time. We're finally doing the book review on Alex Bledsoe's Blood Groove. I know, we're here. It's finally happening. I am keeping my promise, so we're gonna get into this. But before we do that, please leave a like. It really helps me out and I appreciate it. Thank you. I also want to take the time to introduce the new series on this channel called Read and Rouge. What is that, you ask? I'm about to let you know. Read and Rouge is going to be a series on this channel where I do book reviews while simultaneously doing my makeup. And you know, isn't that just so cute? I got the inspiration from two of my favorite YouTubers, Bailey Sarian and Kenny JD. They both do their makeup. They're excellent makeup artists. Like, they're just so good. I will never be at that level. Let's just get that out of the way. Bailey does her makeup while talking about true crime, and then Kenny does her makeup talking about bad movies or good movies. It really depends on what movie she's talking about, I guess. I took inspiration from that and I'm like, well, let me do something similar but with books, because I love to read. Books are like my everything. So yeah, new series on the channel called Read and Rouge. I want to point something else out before we really get started. Rouge, if you didn't know, is another word for blush, and I don't even use blush when I put on makeup. I know. I just wanted, like, you know, my title of this series to have like alliteration, so it's like, you know, matching, but you get the point. Rouge is makeup and I will be doing my makeup while doing book reviews. So yeah, let's get into this. Yeah. One more thing. I am not a beauty guru. I am not a makeup artist. I just do this for fun. I like to put stuff on my face when I feel like it. So yeah, nothing professional going on here. So without further ado, here is Blood Groove by Alex Bledsoe. If you remember, Blood Groove is one of the books that I bought during my half price books haul a few months back, and I described the book in an interesting way. How can I sum this up? The basic of what I gathered from looking in this book for 2 seconds. Horny vampires. Horny vampires. Like, that's what I got from it. I turned out to be right. I'm gonna be honest, I have mixed feelings about this book because of how it was written, who it was written by, and just what's in it, okay? A quick little summary, if you will. Main character of this story is an old vampire by the name of Baron Zinski. I still don't know how his name is pronounced to this day. He was accused of being a vampire in a small town or village in Wales in 1915. He was found out and staked through the heart with a crucifix knife of some sort, yes. And then he was resurrected when that knife was pulled out in 1975 in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, how did he get from Wales to Memphis, Tennessee? Read the book to find out. Because if I tell you now, I'm going to end up spoiling something. While I said that, there are going to be spoilers in this video. I'm just letting you know right now before I get too far deep into the book and the review, there will be spoilers in this video. So if you don't want those, sorry. So while he is trying to find his way in this new day and age, he finds a group of teen vampires who have no idea about the truth of their, you know, vampiristic, is that even a word? Vampire powers. They have no idea of the power that they hold as these undead blood-sucking beings. And he essentially eventually acts as a guiding hand to said ability. There's like so many subplots running through this book because it'll jump from like character to character. You know, it's third person is it third person omniscient? I need to go back to 3rd grade because I can't remember. It's essentially it's in third person, okay? Speaking of multiple subplots, apparently there is a drug on the Tennessee streets of Memphis that is killing vampires. It's this gray, unidentified dust that gets vampires addicted to it, and it kills them eventually. So that's like their little mission, I guess, in the book, above all else, is to like find out where this drug is coming from and to get it off the streets, or just have it not exist completely so they don't, you know, die. Duh. That's basically the plot of this book. Let's get into the characters. Main character, I already talked about him, Baron Ginski. He changes his name to Rudy, you know, to fit in with the times because it's 1975 and stuff and everything is groovy, you know what I mean? A few characteristics about Baron. He is an arrogant asshole that has no regard for human life or vampire life. He's really creepy. He uses his power of compulsion to sexually enslave his victims and or his followers. That's never fun. That's not even cute. It's a problem. He usually targets women. Not even women, freaking young girls. I forgot to mention this, but you know how I said he was resurrected when the knife in his chest was pulled out? That reminded me of the original vampires from the Vampire Diaries immediately. And it was like a passing thought, but every time like they would reference it in the book, I would remember it. Just a little side note. But yeah, dude's got issues. Dude is creepy. I don't like dude. Moving on to the next character involved in this book. Her name is Danielle. She is the assistant head coroner in Memphis, Tennessee, or the town that they're in. She has the most gruesome case of bad luck in this book. Like, it is insane. You know how I was saying there's like multiple like storylines and all that stuff because of all these characters in it? These storylines overlap because at one point in the book, these characters are going to interact with each other. And that's what happens essentially with Danielle's storyline. There's going to be so much foundation in this brush. I forgot to brush my eyebrows before putting on foundation. I can't catch a break anymore. How Danielle gets involved with this group of vampires is kind of gruesome, I'd say. So like I said, she's the assistant head coroner. She receives the body of one of the teen vampires in the group, and she could not figure out how he died. Because as a coroner, that's literally her job, is to figure out how people died and determine the cause of death. She couldn't get it. So she gets too curious about, you know, the way that this teenager died and like how come he looks the way that he looks, you know. Lots of questions that she didn't get the answers to at first. So she decides to take it into her own hands and find out, you know, how he died, where he was last seen, and that's how she runs into the group of the vampires. Now let's talk about Fauvet. Can someone, I don't know. The vampire girl that's in the group. She died when she was 14 in a very graphic, sad way. She is just like this mousy little thing that kind of didn't have like a regard for wanting to live because of what she is. And then that all changes when Baron comes in and like freaking hypnotizes her, and it's so disgusting. Then you have Olive, who is a black teen vampire. I don't think it was said how she died. Olive is overtly sexual for no specific reason. It's a lot. Olive gets her kicks by preying on young men and killing them. If not killing them, she'll keep them alive long enough to feed on them here and there. But other than that, she, yeah. Moving on to the next character is Leonardo. He is also a black teen vampire, and he's just trying to, you know, make it as an undead teen in Memphis, Tennessee. He likes to blend in because he misses his life as a human. I get that. He died in 1900, so he's quite old, you know. And the last person in the vampire clan is essentially their leader, former leader, because, you know, Baron comes in and takes over eventually, is this teenager named Mark. He's white. Oh, Fauvet is always white. I have to say that they're white and black because when I get into my opinions about this book, it's important that you know that they're white, black, etc. He's the responsible one, I guess you could say, and he has a thing for Fauvet. I don't know why. I guess like her demureness is what attracts him to her. Then you have Leslie, who is a black woman, black woman. She's a social worker, and she's also Danielle's best friend. I think that's all of the characters that are important to the plot, or somewhat, I think. Let's get into my overall thoughts and opinions of this book, because I have very many. Very many, okay? So, when I got to like a certain part of the book, I had a realization. I didn't have a realization, but it kind of just jumped out at me. This book is racist as hell. I say that because there's lots of stereotypes. There's derogatory terms like the N-word and the one used for Asian people. I'm not gonna say the words, obviously. As I keep reading this book, when I was reading it, I was like, oh, okay. And then when I had that thought, I had another thought. And I was like, this is really racist, but this is good. Like, in my opinion, it's my opinion. But the storyline is good. Like, I'm interested in these characters and the plot. This is a good story, but it is racist. I don't want to say that I tried to defend or justify, like, all the racism in this book because of the time period that it was in. Even then, even if it being in the South in 1975, specifically Memphis, Tennessee, this book is racist. And then when I had that thought, I had another thought. I'm like, wait, who wrote this again? So I had to look him up. Dude is white as white can be. And I'm just like, okay. See, I don't have a problem per se, but I'm just kind of like side-eyeing the author because I'm like, you are too comfortable using, you are too comfortable with using these derogatory terms and these racial stereotypes. I don't care if it's fiction or not. Sir, Alex. May I call you Alex? I'm gonna call you Alex anyway. Sir, what, why? Just why? Especially when it comes to the black characters. The stereotypes. Oh my gosh. Like, what is going on with this? You had the overtly sexual black girl. Now, we call that type of character a Jezebel. And the Jezebel has been a stereotypical character in black culture. Not created by us, obviously. So seeing that in the book, I said, okay, so we're doing this. The way that black people were talked about and portrayed in this book, not even just the black people, like the other minorities like involved as well. It was just not my thing. Another fact that I had to come to terms with in this book is that it is creepy as hell. This book is creepy. In like a sexual sense, it is so creepy. And I have two outstanding reasons as to why. Reason number one, Danielle. Remember Danielle? I talked about her earlier. Yes, Danielle is described to be younger than she appears because she's so like short and like petite. She's real petite. Like, she's a tiny little thing, right? The way that Alex sexualized her appearance it's giving like pedo, because like he like would sexualize the fact that she looked so young and so tiny, and I'm just like, cause these ooh, I wasn't supposed to put it there. We're gonna keep going. The way that these teen vampires are portrayed when it comes to sex is outstandingly disturbing. Like, it is awful. See, this is why I can't. Why is this one thinner than that one? What do I do? Like, how do I fix this? It was overbearing, like how sexual these teenage vampires were, and I'm just like, okay. In their hearts and in their mind, they are still minors, okay? I'm not letting y'all forget that. Like, these vampires who have been undead for the past 4, 5, 6 centuries, however old they are, they died when they were teenagers. Like, this is ridiculous to me. I messed up so bad. Like, we're gonna keep going though. I know my eyes are uneven, and I have hooded eyelids, so I have to put my eyeshadow my god, I have to put my eyeshadow like all the way up. I do truly think that this story could have been told in a less racist, less creepy, less misogynistic way, but here we are. And then I had another dark thought, okay? I was thinking, you know, as I'm reading in the middle of this, and I'm just like, oh my god, what if this was made into a movie? That was like the darkest thought that I had about this book, because I was like, oh shiznit. I'm like, what is gonna happen if this is made into a movie? The only people that I think could pull this off are Ari Aster and Ty West. That is it. I don't think anyone else besides those two people could make this into a beautiful artistic moment, because this book is intense. I feel like Ty and Ari can deliver this story in a way where it's not overtly racist, not overtly creepy, and not overtly misogynistic. Even if it is set in 1975, you know that there were people that existed that weren't all those three things. You know that, right? You know that, right? And if this somehow, some way gets adapted into a film, y'all better not tell freaking Sam Levinson. He needs to stay away from this project if it comes to fruition, okay? We all know his track record with portraying minors in his project, so don't tell him if it happens. Yeah, but if this ever gets out that it's coming out with a film adaptation, do not tell Quentin Tarantino, do not tell M. Night Shyamalan, and do not tell Sam Levinson. We don't need that, and we don't want that as a society, okay? Besides all the complaining I just did about, you know, the negatives of the book, honestly, it's still a really good story, like, in my opinion. I did get a little sympathy for Danielle, mostly because she essentially lost her life trying to do the right thing, and she paid heavily for that, so that's really sad. Nice job on that, like keeping me, the reader, intrigued the entire time. You know, I could have done without the racism and the creepy sexual activity and the misogyny, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, love. Okay, but I'm done. So yeah, that was my take on Blood Groove by Alex Bledsoe. So that concludes our video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first ever video in the series of Reading Rouge. Please leave a like. I would really appreciate that, and subscribe if you want to. I will see y'all on the next go round. Okay, bye.
Well,